The world most of us live in. The world of fluorescent lights and cubicles. It's not a jungle. It's a machine, a grinder. It's designed to take your best ideas, your energy, and your time, and turn them into someone else's bonus check. And when you're empty, they replace the part. I know. I've been the part they replaced. And if you're watching this, maybe you have too. Today's story is about a man named Elias. He wasn't the loud guy in the boardroom. He was the invisible guy in logistics, who knew where every single skeleton was buried in a warehouse the size of 5 football fields. They thought he was just a cog, so they threw him away to protect a lie. They didn't realize that Elias wasn't just a cog. He was the architect of their entire system. And when you fire the architect, the building doesn't just stand there, it waits to fall. They call the corporate world a jungle. They're wrong. In the jungle, a predator looks you in the eye before it takes you down. It's honest. Elias gave 10 years of his life to Omnicorp Logistics. His title was Senior Flow Coordinator, which sounds boring, and it was meant to. But in reality, Elias was the central nervous system of the Northeast Division. He knew things the software didn't. He knew that if a truck blew a tire in Ohio at 3 a.m., it would cause a bottleneck in Boston 48 hours later. He didn't just see data, he saw the matrix of movement. For 5 years, he hadn't asked for a raise. He just wanted things to run right. That's why he built Project Hermes. It was an optimization plan he worked on for 6 months, unpaid, on his own time. It would save Omnicorp $3 million a year just by rerouting their midstream carriers. It was his masterpiece. Enter Mr. Sterling, the regional manager, a man who knew everything about corporate politics and absolutely nothing about how a shipping container actually works. When Elias presented Project Hermes, Sterling didn't even open the cover. He said,
"We don't pay you to think, Elias. We pay you to make sure the boxes move left to right. Get back to the floor."
Exactly 4 weeks later, Sterling stood in front of the board of directors. He accepted a $50,000 performance bonus for his brilliant new efficiency initiative. He presented every page of Elias's work as his own. Elias wasn't stupid. He confronted Sterling. He demanded the credit he earned, and that was his mistake. You don't ask a thief for justice when the thief is holding the keys to your employment. The next day, HR handed Elias his termination papers. Insubordination and failure to align with company values. Fabricated garbage to silence a liability. 10 years of loyalty ended with a security escort to the parking lot. Sterling watched from the 40th floor. He thought he had taken out the trash. He didn't know he had just pulled the pin on a grenade. The wilderness. If you've been there, you know the feeling. The first month is shock. The second month is fear. The phone doesn't ring. The savings account starts bleeding out. Elias was 45. The job market looked at him and saw obsolete hardware. He started to believe them. He started to believe he was nothing. But grit isn't about never getting knocked down. It's about what you decide to do while you're on the floor. One night, staring at the bottom of a glass, the fog lifted for Elias. He remembered Sterling's smug grin on that stage, and the anger didn't burn him up. It woke him up. He realized something crucial. Sterling stole the plan, but a plan is just paper. It's like stealing sheet music from Mozart and thinking you can conduct the symphony. Sterling didn't know the nuances. He didn't know about the ghost cargo protocols or the handshake deals with the night dispatchers that Elias had maintained for a decade with coffee and respect. The Omnicorp system didn't run on computers. It ran on Elias, manually fixing the system's mistakes every single day. And now, he was gone. Elias stopped sending out resumes. He started building a trap. He registered an LLC, Apex Solutions. He rented a virtual office address in the city. He built a slick website using stock photos of jets and container ships. He made himself look bigger than he was. And then, like a spider in a dark corner, he waited. It took 6 weeks for Project Hermes, under Sterling's management, to turn into a dumpster fire. Without Elias's daily manual adjustments, the automated system went rogue. Christmas inventory was shipping in July. Perishable medical supplies were rotting in unrefrigerated trucks in Arizona. Customers were screaming. The stock price dipped. The board wanted answers, and they wanted Sterling's head on a platter. Sterling was drowning. He needed to clear a massive bottleneck in the Mid-Atlantic hub within 48 hours, or he was finished. His internal teams couldn't handle it. He needed an outside miracle worker. He needed a consultant. He searched. And right at the top of the results, with perfect SEO optimization, was a company he'd never heard of. Apex Solutions. They promised to fix the unfixable. When Omnicorp called Apex, Elias answered with a slight digital modulation on his voice. They explained the crisis. Elias listened. Then he gave them a quote. It was extortionate, 5 times the standard industry rate. Sterling authorized it in 10 minutes. Desperate men don't negotiate. Elias went to work. He used his intimate knowledge of their broken system to untangle the mess they created. He was doing for $10,000 a day what he used to do for a salary of $65,000 a year. For 2 months, Apex Solutions was the only thing keeping Sterling employed. Sterling was signing the checks, having no idea he was paying the man he fired to save his life. But all debts come due. The CEO of Omnicorp finally looked at the books. He saw the bleeding. He called Sterling into the boardroom. Who are these Apex people? We're paying them enough to buy the company. Get their principal on a video call. Now. I want to see who is charging us these rates. Sterling, shaking, set up the Zoom call. The screen connected. The camera at Apex Solutions turned on. And Sterling saw the ghost of Christmas past. Elias didn't smile. He didn't gloat. He just looked at the man who tried to destroy him. The silence in that boardroom was heavier than lead. The CEO looked at Sterling, then at the screen.
Do you two know each other?
Elias spoke first. His voice was calm, flat, and absolutely lethal. We do. Mr. Sterling previously decided that my skill set wasn't worth a mid-level salary. It turns out the free market values my expertise significantly higher. Now, if Omnicorp would like to discuss a retainer agreement to keep your supply chain functioning, my rates just doubled. Sterling was escorted out of the building within the hour. Elias eventually sold his consulting contract back to Omnicorp for enough money that he never has to worry about a mortgage again. But this story isn't about the money, and it's not even really about revenge, though that part was sweet. It's about knowing what you are. The world is full of Sterlings, shiny, empty people who will steal your work and convince you that you are lucky just to be in the room with them. Don't believe them. They can steal the blueprints, but they can't steal the mind of the architect. Your value isn't in your job title. It's in the grit you show when they take that title away. This is the gritty path. We tell the stories of the people who refuse to stay broken. If you know what it feels like to be underestimated, subscribe to the channel. We're just getting started. Walk your own path. Stay gritty.